All right. Let's talk about this. I feel like this would be good. Because you were close, Shawana, in terms of understand. State that what you just said
Yes.
about
So,
dating.
so,
She said it backwards, right?
Well, let me hear her again.
so dating is gathering information about, different parties, that you're dating, getting to know them. And then courting is like exclusively dating one person and you're looking to go to the next step with that person.
So you were right up until the last part. Okay, so courting is when you enter into a courtship when both parties have decided to marry and are now working towards marriage. That's when you enter into courtship. You can date someone and be exclusive in dating one person, but that doesn't mean you're courting yet.
See, then guys misuse that term because I've had men, say I'm courting you. You see what I'm saying?
Can you court without the ring?
Yeah.
They don't understand that in layman's terms if that's the case, because I guess some guys think being your man, wanting to be your man, that's courting you as well. Versus you're saying to court someone, you're ready for the next level, which is marriage. You see what I
Yep.
mean?
Yep.
Mm.
Exactly. Sometimes we don't know these terms. Like even going back to dating, there's people. It's you ask 5 different people what's dating, and people will have different definitions, interpretations of what dating is. Um, so in terms of like dating, yes, you're gathering data, and you can date. You can date experimentally, and you can date exclusively. Exclusive dating is I only date one person at a time. So there's some people who feel like if I'm dating, I should date one person. I'm not going to be dating 4 or 5 people. That's some people's beliefs. Some other people have explorative dating where they're dating and they're exploring their options, talking to different people, gathering data from different people at once. If you're dating multiple people and you're exploring the dating pool, but then there's one person that you begin to say, "Hey, I really like this person, and I want to focus more on just them. I don't feel like I need to talk to 3 or 4 other guys or three or four other people." Then you can then say, have a conversation. That's the next step. Have a clarifying conversation in which you and that person both mutually decide that we're going to be exclusive to one another. Because sometimes a woman can become, in her mind, say, "Oh, I really like this guy. I don't want to date anybody else but him." But he, in his mind, is still exploring his options and talking to other people as well. So there needs to be a clarifying conversation between the both of you and a mutual agreement and a mutual understanding that says, "Hey, I don't want to talk to anybody else. I love it here. I can see a future here. I see where this relationship can go." And now we become exclusive in our dating. That's step 2. The next step, when now there's a mutual understanding that we are exclusive to one another, it is at this point where it can become courting, depending on different levels in terms of where the person might be in life. I know most of you guys that are on here, you guys are all pretty much in your 30s or 40s. So a lot of times you guys are most likely in a state where you're like, there's not much that I really need to do in life or see in life or experience in life before I get married. Like you can just kind of know, like, I already know what I want. So that's why I say there can be a little discrepancy between a person who is dating exclusively versus a person who's now courting you. I would say when the conversations when there has been another clarifying conversation around marriage, when both persons have decided, hey, I want to marry you, when the man has said that to you, and you are also clear in your heart, I want to be married. I want to be married by this person. And you now both decide to work towards marriage. This is when you step into a courtship period. At the courtship level, there's a proposal would have been made, signaling engagement, or there is that mutual understanding of commitment by both people. There's we've cut off other options. We ain't talking to nobody else. Exes are deleted off of our phones. We're not texting our exes. We're not messaging people on the side. Like, we're focused on this. And as well, another thing that happens is you begin to even inform, both families are informed. This is another mistake that happens when people start courting. How do you know that the person is serious about you? Is that they bring you around the people that they are closest to. You know if a man is serious about you when he brings you around the people that he is closest to. A man is not going to bring you around his family or his mom if he's not serious about you. He's not gonna introduce you to if his mom is not in his life or his dad's not in his life, it might be his sister, it might be it might be whoever is the closest person to him. He introduces you to him and he makes you known to those people. He's serious about you. I always know when a woman is being played or just going along for a ride when I ask them the question, has he introduced you to his family? Has he introduced you? When holidays come around, Thanksgiving has come around, are you over by his house? Christmas is around. Are you invited to come? Or no? Are you a secret still? Then he's not serious about you. Okay. So courtship, the phase of we're both getting ready to say I do, we're working towards marriage. That's when even bringing him around your church, bringing him to your pastors, bringing him to your around your spiritual community. If you're connected to a church and you have a close knit or you have a good relationship with the people in your church, that's another opportunity to just have to bring him in, or vice versa. He brings you around his church family if he's really connected to his church, because he is serious about you enough to to publicly show you to the people that he's closest to. So here are a few things in the courtship phase, and I want you guys to write this down. Here are a few things that you should be discussing in the courtship period. All right. Number one, again, you need to meet the family of the person who is talking about marrying you. Number one, you meet the family of your partner. You should be meeting them. They should know who you are. Number two, you should know where he lives. Ain't no way you're talking about courting and getting married, and you still don't even know where he lives. Number three, you need to know his job, his occupation. What is he doing with his life? Number four, you need to be discussing spirituality. You need to know his spiritual life. Number five, you need to be discussing career plans. You need to be talking about his career plans and his demands. What is, if he works for a company or works for his own on his own, you need to be discussing the future.
Sorry, Pastor, can you go back to spirituality? What did you say about that?
Or say you should just be discussing your spiritual lives.
Okay.
Just knowing your spiritual history, you need to know what church he goes to. You need to know what is, you need to be listening to the sermons that he's listening to. You'd be surprised. Some people say they go to church. You visit the church and it's a cult. You didn't even know it was a cult. But he said he went to church. I know a guy I met, he talked about his spiritual leader. I met the spiritual leader. This woman was a whole witch, was a psychic and a witch. And she was masquerading as a spiritual mother to this guy. And the woman, this person who was the spiritual covering, the spiritual mother, was actually controlling him and manipulating him. And he didn't know that. The girl introduced me to him. I spoke to him about his spirit. I spoke to him about I had one conversation with him, and I already knew that he was being manipulated by this person that he was being taught and led by. So it is important that you understand that, because now she ended up having to break up with the guy because she realized that this woman was having the final say in his life, and he was not being a man. He was not being led. He was being controlled by this woman. So this stuff is happening. All right. So spirituality, you want to talk about that. You're going to talk about the career plans. You want to talk about children, number of children you would like to have. If he wants to have children, how many? That usually leads to problems later on if you don't have those conversations. You need to discuss finances, of course. Now, again, a lot of these serious conversations that can happen when you're in a courtship phase, I believe that you should seek out premarital counseling, because you may not necessarily have all of the you may not be you may not it just becomes a little easier when you have a counselor or a mediator or someone to kind of like walk through these type of questions with you and your partner. So now you guys are you have outside influence. The Bible says there is safety in the multitude of counselors. So having counsel outside of you will provide safety for your relationship, a safety net, because now you have additional accountability. You have someone with more experience and more wisdom to kind of speak into the relationship and show you guys, have you guys discussed this? Have you guys talked about that? Are you clear on this? Then because you can have some blind spots and things you didn't know about each other that can end up showing up later on in the relationship that can become detrimental if you don't discuss these things. All right. Yeah, so those are just some things. You definitely should be praying often together for yourself and for your future. You definitely you want God to be in the relationship. So even before you're married, you should start praying together, because the habits that you form in the early stages of your relationship becomes easier for you to just become a routine in your relationship. Ask him, if you're the one praying, ask him to pray for you. Hey, can you pray for me? Can you pray over us tonight? Sometimes you just you challenge a guy to step up spiritually, he will. And it's actually um reveals that you're willing to be led by him. It reveals that you are soft. It reveals that you're willing to be meek. Like, I know you can pray, but the fact that you're asking me to pray for you lets me know you're looking at me as a leader and you want to be led by me. Right? So these are little things that you guys definitely need to pick up and to know. Asking guys and challenging guys to be the man that you believe him to be, and even calling him up higher to operate at a level that he can operate in. He just needs to be challenged to do so. Um, Also in the courtship stage, this is a big one. If you still have some secrets that may affect your marriage in the future, this is the time where you need to reveal them. Sometimes people have debt that they never talk about that can come up later on. And I'm like, you never told me you uh filed bankruptcy 4 years ago, right? And you didn't have that type of conversation. And then now you guys got married, you guys should begin to share names, now you're trying to share accounts. And then it's like you have a bankruptcy in your history that will affect his credit worthiness because now the two are becoming one and you file taxes together or something like that. So sometimes that if you have a love child, you have a child that earlier when you were younger and you never shared that you have this child somewhere and now you guys are together, you told them you didn't really have any kids, then you find out that you did have a child, but the child lives in another state, lives, and he didn't know. You don't want any surprises. um Maybe some type of serious medical condition, you need to bring that up. You lost your womb. Some people had to have surgeries where their womb was removed and they can't have kids. Whatever the case is, you need to reveal that. And of course, same thing with the guy, right? The guy says, hey, I have this issue and I can't, doctor said that I won't be able to have kids. And those are like serious things that need to be discussed. And when you reach that point where you're like emotionally invested, you guys are talking about marriage, you guys are in the courtship stage. If this man is really sent from God, he will never look down on you. He's never going to insult you. He's never going to mock you. He's not going to dump you over you sharing the secrets of your heart to him. A man who's truly caring and loves you, and really wants to be with you, he's gonna be full of compassion. He's gonna be full of respect, and he's going to hear you. And honestly, that will cause him to love you even more because I'm like now he knows like you're being vulnerable, you're sharing more with him, and again, that's where you kind of can see like if a person is genuine and he's honest about his heart for you because you shared something that you haven't shared it with many people, anyone, and how he responds to that or reacts to that will actually reveal if this person has an unconditional love for you. If someone is meant for you, they won't leave you. If someone is meant for you, they will not leave you. So I hope that helps because I think sometimes women rush into having these type of deep conversations and you guys haven't even really established friendship yet. Courtship phase, getting serious about marriage, all this stuff, having these deeper conversations really should be started or should be had after you've built a strong friendship or a friendship or having at least a friendship enough, a genuine friendship where it's like we're real to each other. We fostered a great understanding of each other, right? We talk to each other. We can be playful for each other. I'm not misinterpreting him. He's not misinterpreting me. He gets me. She gets me. We both care for each other. We're supporting one another. We're encouraging one another. This is why I always say friendship is the cornerstone of marriage because that friendship level is critical to be able to kind of have those deeper level conversations and not feel threatened or feel like it's opening up to a stranger. Like you're sharing up to somebody you consider a friend and who genuinely cares about you. And you can communicate easy with them or effectively to them because we have this genuine relationship with each other. All right. So any questions about what I shared regarding courtship?
Dion has a question in the chat.
Oh, let me see that. Is it? Should we be friends first before saying we are exclusive? Exactly. Right. So absolutely, friendship. I'll say it again. Friendship is the cornerstone of your marriage. Another mistake that um, especially I've seen women make is when they meet a guy and they really like this guy and it seems promising, is that it's like you just feel like, you know what, time is ticking. I already know you want to be with me. I already know I want to be with you. Let's just get, we just want to rush into the courtship stage and get married. But without really taking the time to really build that friendship, you don't know each other. And you want to like each other as much as you love each other. When you like your friends, you choose your friends. If you don't like a person, you're not going to be friends with them. Right? Very easy. And what makes a relationship enjoyable is that we actually like each other, not just love each other. Right? There's so many married couples right now. There are people who are lonely in their marriage. They feel stuck in their marriage because they're with somebody and they don't like each other. You don't want that. You want to enjoy that person. So you should be even more. If I were you, I would say you guys should be even more devoted to just forming healthy friendship, being able to laugh together, be playful with each other, be able to, have, enjoy things, find common interests. Think about how you would choose a friend. I want you to think about how you would choose a friend and use that as the basis of if you want to go the distance with a person. I have another quote that I say that marriage is just friendship on fire. Marriage is friendship on fire. Okay. You're taking your friendship to the next level with this person by marrying them. You're marrying your friend. And guys look for that companionship more than anything else. It's like, I don't want to just feel like I'm working and providing for someone who doesn't even like me, or a person who I just feel like I'm just caring for them. Like, no, a man doesn't mind sacrificing, doesn't investing, doesn't mind putting in the work, doing anything if it's with a person that he genuinely feels, yo, this is my, like, you hear a guy say like, yo, that's my dog, right? Like that's my road dog. Like that's my, that's my homie. Like a guy wants to feel like their wife is their homeboy. Not no Diddy. Not in that type of way, but a guy would want to feel like his wife is that easy to talk to, and is that person like we can talk about anything, and she gets me, I get her, I can be honest. She can be honest with me, and there's no judgment. So we keep that friendship, and you want to always remember that. Another mistake I see in marriage is that once the people have that friendship, and then they get married, and then it's like friendship hat off, wife hat comes on, and then they no longer relate to their husband like a friend anymore. They relate to them like, well, you're my husband, and because you're my husband, you're supposed to do. You're supposed to be this way. You're supposed to do that. You're supposed to do this. Now, when you start talking about the supposed tos, and now it becomes like controlling even, or it feels controlling. It feels like a man is now in this position where he's like, dang, what happened? Like, you never had to force me to do anything before when we were friends. Right? You never want to take off that friendship hat. That's you always want to protect that friendship. So now when you guys begin to go through things in life, we're going through them together. We're going through them together. We're in this together. And that's how friends and friendships usually last, because there's this mutual agreement, mutual understanding. Like, you don't have to force a friend. And if you got to force a person to be in your life, then they don't need to be in your life. It's by grace. You want to just keep that relationship fluid, and you want that relationship to just be as natural as a friendship. All right. And if you're courting somebody and you begin to find out that maybe their lifestyle undermines your religious or spiritual stances, your convictions, your moral compass is and principles, if you sense that, then the marriage or the relationship that was heading to marriage needs to be discontinued. Because the worst thing is to think that if you get married, things are going to change. You need to marry a person with the mindset of this. If I get married to you tomorrow and you never change, will I be happy with my decision? The person in front of you right now, if they never change, if they don't improve, will you be happy? If you can't answer that question, do not say I do. Do not pass go. You cannot marry on a presumptuous or marry on an assumption. You cannot marry on that. You need to know with the person right in front of me right now, they don't change, if they don't make more money, if they don't lose weight, if they don't do X, Y, and Z, will I still say I do? That's when you know you've got somebody that you genuinely love. All right.
And because essentially, if the answer to that is yes, you're saying that you're accepting that person for who they are.
Exactly.
Okay.
Which is what you should be doing. If it's real, genuine, unconditional love. Person, I love you as you are, not for what I feel I'm going to make you. I feel like I'm going to get out of you, or what I feel like I'm going to create out of you if we get married. We need to be coming into that marriage sober and aware and knowing, like, I'm not marrying this dream or ideal of what I think is going to happen in marriage. No, no, no. I'm looking at what's in front of me, the raw material, and I'm saying, okay, because it's only up from there. Because at that point, now if the person is where they are and you actually genuinely love that person for where they are right now in their life, then guess what? I've seen what happens is eventually now you know that person can only get better. Now, yes, things can get worse, but you already know the good and the bad of that person if you truly genuinely took the time to know that person, right? So that's the part that you got to really take the time to, like, really know that person, and don't rush the friendship. Don't rush the part of, like, just genuinely getting to know that person, getting him to feel comfortable just talking to you, hanging out. Like, we don't, no pressure. We ain't talking about romance. We're not talking about marriage or nothing too soon. Like, I'm just getting to know the person, and vice versa. The man is just getting to know you, and that dating stage. Then after you like each other, and you're like, really, I really like talking to him. And he was like, I really like talking to you. You know, he likes talking to you because he calls you. He actually wants to talk. He actually looks forward to having those conversations with you. Y'all stay on the phone and y'all talk for 2 3 hours. You know, however long that is, you're in that initial stage. You just want to keep talking and knowing the person. He wants to meet up, he wants to meet, he wants to talk, he wants to date. Like when you're like the genuine interest is there, cool. Take the time, explore that option, but make sure that you don't rush into anything too heavy, too deep, because you want to allow things to naturally and genuinely form, which is if a man is marriage minded, if a man is really marriage minded and he meets somebody that he sees like, yo, I really like what I'm seeing, you don't got to ask him if he wants to marry you. You don't have to ask him if he wants to be serious. He will decide to take things to the next level. He's gonna want to say, you know what, I like what I see, and I don't want to waste any time. I don't want to play any games. Like the guy will initiate that. And let's say if after 3 months of talking, 3 to 6 months tops, if in 6 months that guy does not talk about wanting to get serious, that person is not thinking that way, you have every right to bring up a conversation at that point to then say, we've been talking for 4 months, we've been talking for 5 months, you haven't mentioned anything about marriage. I'm gonna just be honest with you. I want marriage. Is this what you want? And if he's still giving you some roundabout answer, then you just at that point just say like, you know what? You know, I've enjoyed talking to you the last several months, but I don't think we're compatible. And if that guy is real serious and he's realizing he's about to lose a good thing, oh, he's gonna wake up real quick because you put your foot down and you let him know what time it is. You let him know that this is what you want. I want to end in marriage. I don't want to end in breakup. I don't want to end in me waiting around for 10 years. That's not where I am at this point in my life anymore. And when you challenge a guy that way, and he really wants to protect what he's also invested 3, 4, 5, 6 months in, then you can know if that guy is ready to go to the next level with you. So, all right, Dion, I see. So, yeah, I guess I'll close right there. So, I guess even if you're courting someone, don't be afraid of losing them in courtship. Don't get so excited about the idea of getting married and being proposed to and getting a ring that you overlook even the fact that there might be some discrepancies and some things clashes when it comes to your convictions and beliefs and things. And when you see things after you have these deeper conversations that kind of undermine the future that you intend to have with a person, don't just say, you know what, I met his family, he met mine, you know, we were talking about marriage. Don't get so infatuated with the dream and the idea of marriage that you now overlook all of the fears and the signs and the red flags that this relationship might not end well if you continue to proceed. Because a broken courtship is better than a broken marriage. All right. So this is recorded. I'm gonna post it in the group. So if you want to ever go back and rewatch, it's gonna be there. All right. So does this help you?
Today was fire.
Okay.
Yep, I have all that written down, Pastor. Thank you.
Oh wow.
I wrote all of my notes on my phone. Oh yeah.
Amen. Amen.
This was meant. This was very informative, and I really appreciate it. Yes, because I didn't even know about courtship. Like I said, you think they're courting you just to be your man, but yeah, I learned a lot. Thank you.
Yeah. 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 Amen. That's what I'm here for. All right. So you know what I'll probably do? I'll probably do like a series on these so that we can kind of get a little more information and the concepts, so we can get more understanding around the concepts of these things so that we can build off of it together.